Hello. Okay. No viewers just yet. Let me just add some adjustments. No one is in just yet. I do want to know, is the music too loud? Okay. Oh, I don't see any viewers just yet. I guess I'll just wait for a couple more minutes. Wish I can check my own audio. They might overlap. Okay, I see one viewer. Oh, hi, sub. Thank you for the carry emoji. I'm just gonna continue waiting until more arrive. How's the music, sub? Is it too loud or is it too low? Made it. You're always right on time. So how is the sound? Do you hear the music? The background music? You feel attacked? Well, I think most of the core cells here. Okay, sounds good. BGM. All right, that's good. So far there's only one viewer, which is you, sub. You are the chosen one. Let's just wait 2 more minutes, I guess. It's only 3 minutes 20 seconds in. Stream live has I'm so used to saying the stream has started. No, the live has started. Join in. Honestly, the BGM is so funky. I really like the choices they added for StreamYard now. Another viewer has joined. Welcome. I'm gonna start at the 5-minute mark. It's only 4 minutes, 19 seconds for me. You know how I usually bring in like hot tea or something? Right now I only have like cold tea and it's like so I'm gonna run out in the middle of my talk. I'm gonna be so sad when we're just gonna finish the ice. Oh, okay, 5 minutes in. All right, and I see 4 viewers. Hello, welcome. Hi, Juan. Suddenly feel thirsty. Go get a drink. Don't worry, I'll still be here. Okay, it's already 5 minutes in. Then let's just start. So my topic today is about managing yourself, or the proper term would be self management. So this whole topic is like, if you guys follow my previous talks, was also a part of the social emotional learning, the cell thing. So you're gonna see repeats of the slides before. Pretty sure Jason back then has mentioned, oh, it looks like something I've seen before. Yes, this is the third time you're gonna see the same thing again, but with different imagery or background. Let me add a laser pointer so you can see how much I gesture with my mouse. So managing yourself is very important, because having self-management is basically something critical to learn about how to cope with grief and loss, or developing our own resilience to grief and loss, or any kind of like the pandemic itself, and also the ability to, or at least develop your expression or the freedom to resist some kind of injustice, or practicing racism, that kind of thing. Of course, it's gonna be a surprise, guys. Social emotional learning might be something you have seen multiple times before. So, for new viewers, I'm not sure if you guys are new or not. I'll just do a quick recap. The social emotional learning is an integral part of education and human development, or at least this is developed by CASEL, Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. It's basically like a community of educators and also um, health practitioners that develop this kind of community, and also developing this kind of guideline and everything to assist the development of children until us adults with the social emotional learning. So again, SEL is the process through which all young people, children, and also adults acquire and apply the knowledge, the skills, and attitude to develop their own healthy identities, and also trying to manage or control their emotions in order to achieve some kind of personal or collective goals that you may have. And then there's also development of empathy for others, and how to show it. You're not how I would say it, emotionally constipated all the time. How to properly express yourself, that kind of thing. And also establish and maintain supportive relationships, and also making responsible and caring decisions. This whole topic, the self-management thing, is a lot about how to be responsible and being able to make good decisions. So yeah, another repeat. You guys have probably seen this before, possibly. Not really sure why I can't see the live chat on my phone. Oh, okay. So it hasn't updated. So the castle wheel. I know I said that this topic is just gonna talk about self-management, and then this is like my final series of the cell. I totally didn't forget about responsible decision making. I totally didn't. So I totally didn't slide a few last minute slides about responsible decision making, because I'll be honest, this will most likely be my final talk here in Lighthouse as a speaker here. I'll still be monitoring and also moderating the comments after my time here, but because this is most likely my final time here, that's why I basically said, oh, this is the final talk about the cell series. It's the responsible decision making, but hopefully I'll have enough time to cover both of them. But yeah, the castle wheel, this is the social emotional learning thing that was developed by Castle. So we've already gone through self-awareness. If you guys still recall, or if you guys are repeat viewers, you may have remembered that I also did social awareness and relationship skills beforehand as well. And so this time around, I'll cover both of these, even though the main topic is about self-management. But responsible decision making is, to be honest, it sounds almost similar to self-management. It's like an improved, or at least step up to self-management, because once you know how to manage yourself, or make better decisions, then of course you are capable of making responsible decisions as well. So yeah, let's get right back into it. Definition of self-management. This is what Castle provided: the ability to successfully regulate one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in different situations and achieve goals and aspirations. If you guys, like I said, are repeat viewers from my previous talk, you may basically say, oh, doesn't this definition sound similar to self-awareness? Yeah, kind of does. It's basically, like I said, the castle wheel is pretty similar to one another, or at least like a step up or improvement to one another. All of them are related to one another, so it may just sound similar. But yeah, it's just like a, how to say, it pushes the importance of, you know, the individual's ability to control your emotions, your thoughts, your behaviors. And then for self-management, it also basically pins in the thought of achieving goals and aspirations, whereby previously for the self-awareness, I'm struggling here, guys. The self-awareness was more towards just how to regulate your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. So again, another recap: why what makes emotions, thoughts, and behaviors are important is like emotions are one of the most important or powerful factors on how we basically interact with other people. So if you are able to have higher levels of emotional intelligence, then you are able to basically recognize and understand that there are different states of emotional variances depending on the individuals or the people around you. So if you are, you know, able to identify that, then you are probably able to create lasting bonds, no arguments, no no feeling of hardship with one another. Thoughts are again tied to our emotions. If our emotions are going wonky everywhere, then our thoughts will likely go towards the negatives. So your ability to communicate with other people may be also going down as well, because if your emotions are off, your thoughts are going to be off as well. Negative thinking. So if you are, you know, you're capable of controlling your thoughts, regulate them properly, your thoughts and emotions will be balanced, and you can communicate with others and also be able to process your own, you know, decisions, your own thoughts, your own decisions properly. And of course, behaviors, how do you feel about other people's, or at least how you interact with them as well. So how you basically control your actions, you know, in proper settings, like the social norms when I mentioned for the social awareness back then during my first talk with you guys before. So yeah, that's basically the definition. Of course, the key points for self-management, is it just me, or I noticed that the fonts are different? Canva didn't save properly, I guess. But yeah, the key points is about managing one's emotions, identifying and using stress management and self-care strategies, exhibiting self-discipline and self-motivation, setting personal and collective goals, using planning and organizational skills, showing the courage to take initiative, demonstrating personal and collective agency, and cultivating resilience and overcoming adversity. These are basically what I've already mentioned beforehand during my start when I said, oh, it's about making sure our resilience are strong, or the definition about wanting to manage your emotions. So these are the key points of what makes the, you know, self-management so important, because it, you know, levels you up into all of these different aspects here. So the different skills associated with self-management are impulse control, stress management, self-discipline, goal setting, so motivation, and organizational skills. Now, You guys may see that, oh, it looks so, organized, but later on the descriptions or my explanations for them will be a bit wonky just because they all sound pretty similar to one another. So let's get right back into it. Impulse control is basically about the ability to, or at least the concept of delayed gratification. Basically, the ability to not act on immediate impulses, but instead we delay it just a bit, or at least for a period of time before you can get to what you want. So it's basically like the ability to distract yourself from some kind of desire in order to get what you want, not just yet. It's not like you get the immediate one without thinking first. So this kind of concept was started by, let me see, 1970. On the year 1970, this kind of psychologist called Walter Mischel, famously, just gonna read over it. Famously placed a cookie in front of a group of children and gave them a choice. You guys maybe have heard of this kind of experiment before, and I'm pretty sure there are various different experiments that are similar to this, but this guy was the start of it all. This Walter Mischel. I actually googled how to pronounce his name, but I already forgot. It was like 2 days ago I checked. So basically, he placed like a plate of cookies and then tell them that they could eat the cookies immediately if they want, but if they are capable of waiting until he returns from a brief errand, he leaves for a bit, then they can get an extra cookie. Basically, you can get 2 cookies out of this one plate instead of just that one cookie. So again, if they didn't wait, they are only able to eat 1 cookie. But if they were able to wait until he returns, then they get an extra cookie. So you could be say that for that experiment, a lot of after he left the room, a lot of the children actually did eat the cookie immediately, but there were still a few that was patient enough to resist that temptation in front of them, and then when he returned, he gave those extra cookies. And how they did that was, again, they were able to distract themselves by doing other activities. Oh, hello, Ayman Fikri. So yeah, I lost track. So basically, this kind of experiment shows that once someone is shown some kind of temptation but are given instructions about, oh, but if you are able to wait, then you're going to get extra benefits, then there is that impulse control where they can, okay, I'm going to get something better if I wait even longer. So how do they do that? Like I said, they distract themselves. Those children, instead of like being distracted by just looking at the cookies and being tempted by eating it, they probably, or not probably, they did say they were doing other activities like maybe drawing, or maybe they just look at the wall and imagine something. That is how they distracted themselves from the temptation of that cookie. Another variation, he actually did another experiment similar to this. So it was basically the similar concept, also a plate of cookies, or at least 1 cookie for them. And that one group, he told the same thing. If you wait a few minutes, then you'll get an extra cookie. And then he actually had 3 groups. The second group, he told them, like, if you take the time to imagine things that are related to cookies. Actually, it was marshmallows, I believe, but let's just continue with the cookies instead. Then you can get extra cookies as well, was his concept, or at least you can eat the cookies immediately. Try to imagine things that are related to that cookie. So that is the second group. The third group, instead, he told them, like, instead of thinking about something related to those cookies, do think about pretzels instead. So for that group of children, they were told to imagine the taste of pretzels, and then they will be rewarded with something related to that. So that's what uh, his experiment was on. And what he found was that the first group, also like the previous one, some waited, some immediately ate. But then he noticed that the second group, they took a bit longer than the first group because they were busy being distracted by, oh, cookies. They basically imagine different things that are related to cookies. So that is the main cause of them not taking the cookies just yet, because they're distracted by their imagination. The third group was even longer than the second group, even though the second group was a little longer than the first. So basically, they were already imagining the taste of pretzels. Oh, pretzels! I want pretzels. Kind of distracting thoughts. They took a lot longer, and then they weren't interested with the cookies. They eventually did eat them, but they were basically, rewarded because they did all of those activities. So that is the main point of impulse control, is that just the delayed gratification of getting the things you want by distracting yourself with something else. So one would say that for us, it may be something like we distract ourselves with something else that is also productive for us and also interesting to us before we can continue to do, or at least get what we want. It's a thing. Next, self-discipline. Sounds similar to impulse control, like, oh, what's the difference? But self-discipline is more about your willpower, or at least the ability to ignore those other stimuli and instead focus on the goal itself, in order to follow our plans without distractions. So if anything, the impulse control is like, oh, temptation is right in front of us, we need to be strong. Self-discipline is basically like us having that strength to look away. Nope, I will not be tempted by cookies or the pleasures of whatever that I need to do, that I want to do. So that is the difference between these two. So self-discipline requires, the ability to control your own feelings and those impulses. That impulse here. So you look away, but usually you can do various things to basically follow your self-discipline, which is one, try to provide some kind of structure, basically creating some kind of schedule or routine that you can follow. And then other ways that you can practice or develop your self-discipline, understanding that there are reasons for following these certain rules of not being tempted by those temptations, or at least reasonings for the main cause you want to do your goals. You have the understanding, oh, this is very important, that I need to follow, that kind of thing. There's also ability to know the consequences of, if you follow that temptation, what happens next. So that is basically knowing the consequences of, if you do this, then what this will happen. So if you already know the consequences, then most likely you're also able to discipline yourself from being tempted by those other things around you. So other things, shaping the behavior takes a lot of time. So just shaping this self-discipline is something that you can't really force immediately. It's understandable if you can't do it immediately. It takes time. So try to understand that. Don't rush, just take one step at a time. If you do fall into temptation, then it's okay, it's normal, you're human. Getting tempted is, again, human. But if you really want to practice self-discipline, then slowly you'll be able to ignore that kind of temptation or following those impulses, because again, it takes time to develop this self-discipline. Other ways, again, positive reinforcement and also reward system. So try to praise yourself, try to treat yourself whenever you do something good, that you know maybe your shtick is basically, okay, I need to work on my assignment, or I need to work on my reports. So once you do, even though it's just a bit, or maybe just a couple of minutes or 30 minutes, something like that, you did your work and there's still a lot, treat yourself. Take the time to rest. Say that, oh, I did a good job. I basically went half a page or something, or maybe already one full page. That's a good thing. Try to just make you feel good that, oh, I did so well. Just thinking about the previous me didn't my previous me wasn't able to do this back then, but now I can. Good job, me. That's basically how you can gas yourself up. Next, okay, there's also learning problem solving skills. That is really another topic, honestly, if I could say. But how to basically go through problem solving skills, usually a lot of brainstorming, probably with others, maybe your friends, maybe with your lecturer, or maybe with your counselor, who knows. And it's not just about following certain guidelines or anything. Oh, we need to follow this and that in order to do this and that. Sometimes it also takes a lot of or at least some creativity, even some kind of trial and error, because like I said, we're all human. If you make mistakes, it's fine. I know it feels like making mistakes is like the end of the world kind of feeling, but sometimes you can just use that mistake to roll over and try again. Because I've always said that if you make a mistake and you feel like everything is a bit daunting now, it doesn't mean that you basically get amnesia, that, oh, I've lost all my skills, I don't know what to do now, I have no memory of doing this. You're not an amnesiac. You still have those skills, you have those accumulated knowledge you had back then, and then you can just improve on those mistakes beforehand to do something better. So that is the trial and error. Just try, not just twiddle your fingers and say, I think I can do this, or I think I'm gonna take some time to do this, and then you never do. Just try. As was that one actor's name, Shia LaBeouf. Just do it, basically. So that is like a step towards to learning how to do problem solving, or at least developing your problem solving skills. And yeah, pretty much that's the self-discipline kind of thing. So next, stress management. So stress management can be established by using various strategies. If you are, you want the more counseling related ones, then of course we would recommend cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, or sometimes also just basic relaxation techniques, mindfulness, those kind of things. Start from the exposure to several different methods to discussion and implementation. Yeah, it's like stress management. Sometimes it feels like so basic. Relaxation techniques are always so basic. It feels like, oh, everyone does this. But honestly, a lot of things that you can manage your stress is something that people tend to not realize. It's a thing that everyone has already done in their past on their own. But basically, relaxation, like the mindfulness, is basically like the appreciation of the things around you, such as appreciate looking at, oh, my family is feeling happy. I'm also feeling happy when I see them laugh and talk with one another. That is already some kind of basic mindfulness that you're practicing. You're using your 5 senses, that kind of thing. And for the CBT I mentioned, that's actually the most common kind of therapy that us counselors do, which is, let me honest, it's basically talk therapy. You just talk to us, you talk about your issues. It's like a venting kind of thing. And also with the use of course, dispute, or at least cognitive distortion dispute, it's a term, negative thinking disputation. We dispute those negative thoughts. We just have a discussion. That is how you can also manage your stress, because you are able to let them all out. Organizational skills. Mm, this is something that I'm weak with. So it's basically like I guess, like the words here say, physical space and materials, mental pictures, information, and time. All of them are organized. In physical space, meaning like your table. Is it clear? Is it nice? Is it organized? Is it something that you can, reach and find your items quickly, in order to make for more productive work time? I mean, there are of course some people who are, what is it the term, chaotic disorganized, chaotically disorganized, organizedly. Oh, that's a term. Something that is just chaotic, but you are organized in a way that, oh, even though it's messy, you know where everything is. So if that's your kind of style, then that's fine. But make sure that at least you are also in a good mental health state in order to properly uh, do your work in a more productive manner. Because if it really is messy and only you know where they are, sometimes you will need assistance as well to properly gather the materials. And of course, mental picture and information and time. Of course, your ability to, of course, think about information, processing your information here in your mind. Are you also the kind of person like me who just memorize everything and not do notes? Maybe that's how you are able to handle. But I'll be honest, even though I'm, like I said, I'm the type who just try to remember everything, store everything here in my mind. It's also very chaotic. So if possible, try to jot them down just to be organized with what you know, because otherwise some information here may be, you know, gone, or at least pushed out for to think about something else. So yeah, I talk too much, don't I? It's already 42 minutes in. Is it? Yeah. So next, self-motivation and goal setting. Both of them, like I said, sound pretty similar. So basically, some kind of your intrinsic motivation, or at least your natural kind of motivation, is very difficult for you to actually learn or even be taught, because it's based on you yourself. So developing this kind of internal push or need to do whatever can be a bit time based. Sometimes it also requires your environment and what you have learned from others. So it's understandable if you are still feeling a bit lost about what you want to do, because sometimes there are many setbacks that makes you to not be motivated enough. Like COVID itself, the pandemic has basically ruined a lot of people's motivation to do better or to improve, to continue their studies. All of them are pretty difficult to get back into it. So how to get it is basically understanding your three uh, three aspects of yourself, which is autonomy, your mastery, and your purpose. So your autonomy is basically your ability, or at least your push to direct your own life, that you know that you can control your own life. So if you feel as if, I feel like I'm just a puppet, that everyone is controlling my path, then of course your self-motivation is gonna be low, because I'm just following others guidance. I don't know where I am right now. I'm just holding on to someone else. So if you have a low autonomy there, then of course, your self motivation will be lower. Mastery is basically the desire to get better in something that actually matters. Maybe your passion, maybe it's like a exp kind of thing. Like in gaming terms, it's like your skill that you want to master, where your job skill that you just want to go to continue on with. So if your need for your mastery is low, then again your motivation is low. But if it's high, then of course you're gonna strive to get to master, to max level that skill that you want. And then purpose is obviously, it's like your desire to, or the yearning to do work of something that is more than just yourself. Maybe you have a different kind of purpose. You want to make your family proud. You want to do this. You want to do that. That is your purpose of doing the things that you do. So these three aspects are, if you have, are the ones that push you to self-motivate yourself. It's because it shows that you are making an effort to building yourself up, because just having this kind of effort shows that you do care about yourself and your future. Goal setting is the name itself, like just creating some kind of goal. Honestly, if you have the self-motivation, the next step is creating some kind of goal. And if you just have self-motivation, you have a vague idea, like I said, just all of them in your head, not written down, it's pretty difficult for you to pinpoint what you want. So goal setting is like the set objective that you want to do, that you have basically written down somewhere. So maybe again, using gaming terms, maybe the goal is like reach blah 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 within 50 days. Who knows? That is your goal. That is like where you want to go towards, to where you want to put your efforts into. So usually as counselors tend to use the SMART goals to develop this kind of again, goal setting. I believe I've shown this SMART goal multiple times to some other students, and also I did show briefly in social, in self-awareness, my talk on self-awareness. So this SMART goal is usually used to teach you, or at least make you note down everything that you feel is very important to you, to at least better prepare you on what you want to do. Because let me go briefly, like initial goal, just write the goal you have in mind. Maybe it's just a general goal. I want this talk to be successful. That would be my goal. Maybe this talk, tonight's talk, is successful. But what do you want to accomplish? Who needs to be included? When do you want to do this? This is the specific. So what do you want to accomplish? I want to educate my viewers about the importance of blah 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 of self-management. That is my one goal. Who needs to be included? The students of Unit 10 or any other viewers that are interested to learn. When do you want to do this now? Why is this a goal? This is going to be a question somewhere down as well. Because it is something that I believe is important for others to learn, because it may assist them in their future endeavors. Maybe that is my specific kind of thing. Measurable. How can you measure progress and know if you successfully met your goal? For this, usually something like the scoring that us counselors or the SGU members usually give you guys. And you usually have that question about, oh, what do you understand, or what is the blah blah blah, and you guys answer. If you guys answer something that is related to the question and also about our talk, then it shows that, oh, you were listening, you did learn something from this. So that is how I measure, oh, they did learn about my talk. So I feel like, oh, I've met my goal. If I see some people put a dash into the answer sheet, then oh, they only came here for the scoring. So that's how I'll see that, oh, my talk wasn't very successful, maybe it was too boring, so maybe I'll improve maybe in the future, something like that. Okay, do you have the skills required to achieve your goal? Can you obtain them? What is the motivation for this goal? Blah blah blah. Is the amount of effort required on par with the what the goal will achieve? Basically, like, is it worth it to expand so much effort into this talk if the goal is like something so simple, something like that? So I would say that, yeah, I do have the skills to educate or give you psychoeducation about this topic. If not, I could just learn from others. I just use references to better educate myself so I can properly educate others. So that is like the how you can obtain them. What is the motivation for this goal? I just if I would say, oh, it was just my turn to talk about the lighthouse show, that would be kind of funny to add in. But it's also very true. But at the same time, oh, I really just want to teach them about the castle framework because it's so fascinating and want others to learn about it. So that is also like the motivation for this goal. Is the amount of effort required? Yeah, I think it's worth it because I've seen some comments saying that, oh, it feels like I'm being attacked about this topic. It feels like, oh, this is something that relates to me. So I feel like it is like it's worth it, basically. Relevant, or in some other SMART goals they would say realistic instead of relevant. But yeah, why am I setting this goal now? Is it aligned with overall objectives? I would say again, oh, it's my turn for lighthouse show, or at least it's just the right time. And also just to follow up from the previous talk about the castle framework, that is why I blah 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 do it now. Is it aligned with overall objectives? Yes, I believe it is. What's the deadline, and is it realistic? Tonight by 11 p.m. Like, what time is it now? 11 p.m. 10 p.m. But 9:42. Scary. So yeah, it is somewhat realistic to see whether or not people are watching or listening in to my talk. So, and then we summarize everything from the SMART here into something that is more concise. Maybe I want to do an educational talk regarding self-management skills, blah blah blah, because I believe it is important to viewers to learn about these aspects in order to better their life, blah blah blah. A lot of the similar things mentioned here, and just summarize it. So this SMART goal is usually how one have a proper plan to basically go towards what they want to do. Okay, that was the final part of the skills related to that. So benefits of developing self-management skills. So yeah, from childhood to adulthood, it is always active. And honestly speaking, I actually want to talk more about the if I had more time, I would talk about the childhood to the adulthood, but it takes too much time and that takes too much effort. So I just concised it to these. It ensures your emotions and behaviors are used productively, and basically again, it develops stronger relationships and ensure that your mental health well-being are safe and again healthy, because your experiences are better and you don't engage in more risky behaviors like maybe drinking or doing drugs. Next, strengthening ability to cope with stress, adversity, and building resilience. So resilience, I've mentioned it multiple times, but does anyone know what resilience is? Oh yeah, I usually ask you guys like, oh, do you guys know what resilience are? But now that I notice the time, probably if you guys do know, then do mention in the comments. But if not, resilience is, I'm like testing, checking, like, oh, is anyone saying anything? Resilience is like your ability, it does have the answer here, to bounce back after any kind of conflict or any kind of challenges that can ensure that you're gonna be strong enough to handle them. Resilience is like a very popular topic back when the COVID happened, the pandemic happened, because a lot of stressors were involved during the pandemic. You're isolated, workload is different, your setting, environment, everything is different. That is how you're how resilient you are into handling all of these factors or stressors. Next, developing agency and hope to achieve, I typoed, personal and collective goals. So if you are able to have or develop your goal, like I mentioned earlier, if you have a goal, maybe you also have this sense of purpose of wanting to be do it for other people as well. So that is the community aspect of collective goals. Everyone wants to, make world peace. That is some kind of collective goals, some a harmonious environment in the university, maybe. So that is the ability to cooperate and participate with other people in your community and talk about common issues. So yeah, that is how the three are very important for for self-management skills. You develop it, and then you are able to understand these factors even better. I had more examples here at the sides. So let me just mention some, like the ability to be stronger, like resilience is basically using positive self-talk, like I need a break right now, or at least I think I need help with blah 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 blah. It's basically like trying to understand your limits to such things, like the interpersonal challenges. Interpersonal challenges will usually be like conversations like, "You're always not along. We never actually hear what I'm saying. That's so unfair. That's not what we're talking about at all." So that kind of setbacks or challenges or discussions with other people will be very stressful. So to combat that, then you can also do some reply by, "May I please have some space? I'm not ready to share. I don't understand yet, but I will if you are able to teach me." That is how you can properly respond to these kind of stressors. So yeah, if you are able to self-manage yourself with your responses, then the ability to cope with stressors and ensuring your emotions and behaviors and thoughts won't be too straight to the negatives. So how much time do I have left? Okay, we still have time. So let me talk about the final castle wheel core, which is responsible decision making. It's just a brief overview because, like I said, I totally didn't forget about the responsible decision making and didn't slide some extra slides last minute. It actually wasn't last minute. I finished the slides yesterday. So this kind of thing is basically like similar to everything else, or at least an add-on to self-management. Basically the ability to make constructive choices about personal behavior and social interactions based on ethical standards, safety concerns, and social norms. Familiar terms. The realistic evaluation of consequences of various action and a consideration of the well-being of oneself and others. So does it sound similar to the previous ones, whereby it does relate to community or your attitude to others, and also decisions. Once you have a goal, then how you react to it. So yeah, like I said, it's like an add-on to all those previous castle wheel cores earlier. So the key points here, I didn't add on into this slide, but it's basically demonstrating curiosity and open-mindedness, demonstrating honesty, integrity, and fairness, learning how to make a reasoned judgment after analyzing information, data, and facts, identifying solutions for personal and social problems, anticipating and evaluating the consequences of one's actions, recognizing how critical thinking skills are useful both inside and outside of your social circle, at least in the example is actually school. Reflecting on one's role to promote personal, family, and community well being, considering personal and collective safety concerns, and evaluating personal, interpersonal, community, and institutional impacts. So, this is like a wide variety of, after going through all of those previous core cells earlier, then this is like the entirety. It's the self-awareness, the social awareness, the self-management, the relationship skills. This is how the culmination of everything is now in here. Responsible decision making, because it covers about your mental health state, your thinking, your behavior and interaction with others, the community aspects, and your ability to make judgments and decisions. So again, this teaches you how to recognize and validate your emotions, as well as how to manage them appropriately. And then by having responsible decision making, you are able to have critical thinking and self-discipline. Self-discipline is similar to what I mentioned beforehand. I said all of them are just related to one another. So basically, it's basically how we analyze the consequences of our individual and basically institutional actions on others' health and safety. It's not just us now, it's also the social awareness here with other people, and from there you are able to make decisions that not only benefits you but benefits the collective well-being, everyone else around you. So having this engagement with the collective, the community, is more towards to forming some kind of more just and equitable society, basically the betterment of everyone around you. So how it is developed by these aspects: identifying problems, analyzing situations, solving problems, evaluating, reflecting, ethical responsibility. And because I know there's not enough of time for me to talk about all of them, plus most of them really do sound similar to one another. Basically, a lot of them requires a lot of analytic thinking and everything. You become like this anime protagonist that just thinks about making decisions and such. You are able to analyze certain things. So having this kind of things, this kind of aspects means that you are able to have a sense of personal responsibility, and you are able to have the consideration of the ethics, the safety, and the factors that the society follows and then you create your decisions based on those things. So how you can develop these kind of things, or at least let me talk about the reflection then, because I don't know if I still have enough time. So reflecting is usually, some people may say, oh, I don't need to reflect on things, I already think about them all the time. But usually when you think about it, the thoughts are always there. It's attacking one after another. You're thinking about one thing and then something follows up, and then it just follows up, and then it just an overthinking and an overload of information that you are trying to combat. But if you have questions prepared already when you're doing your reflecting, then that is where you can direct your thoughts into proper reflection. So maybe your questions would be, what's the last big mistake that I made? Or what did I learn from that mistake? What happened? What exactly happened? How is this very important to you? Did it like improve my social aspects? Did my relationship get ruined? And then if I make this decision, how would it impact the future? So that is like the questions that you can form while you're doing your self-reflection. And of course, just by doing this reflection, you are doing a lot of questioning. You're already going through all of these: identifying problems, analyzing situations, solving problems, evaluating. You are asking questions that is related to the thing that you want to, cover, or at least the situation that you want to overcome. So that is how you can basically learn how to improve your mental health state, because you are now thinking in a more logical methodological state, instead of just letting it flow and attacking you while with no current. It just flows into your thoughts one after another. So if you have that kind of question, it directs into a different kind of flow, and you are in control of those questions, which means your thoughts won't go overrunning everywhere anymore. So responsible decision making may sound like questioning, like, how will this impact others? Is it worth it? What do I want to make this choice? Why do I want to make the choice? Was this a good choice? Will this help me? Those questions, like I said, direct the thoughts into properly solving those issues that you may have. So here's what time is it now? Okay, 9:57, still in time. So this is the method, the most simple method that you can try to organize your thoughts as well for problem solving. I did mention earlier that there was a problem solving thing in another topic. Surprise, it's here. So the pooch protocol. So it's basically, what is the problem here? You identify the problem. Oh, I had a fight with my friends, and then I want to befriend them again, or at least make up with them. Options: what might be done? Apologize. Maybe option 1 is to apologize, or 2, give them space. 3, maybe what would be good? You ask others' opinions how to better proceed, instead of like just going towards talking to that individual directly. So what are the outcomes if you apologize? Maybe the friendship is secure again, or everyone reached an agreement of something. Everyone forgives each other, maybe. So that is the outcomes for all these choices as well. You put down what are the possible outcomes that may occur if you follow this. Maybe here, the talking to others, may get a different perspective. Try out something new with your friend. Give them space here, like, okay, time for them to cool off. And then here is where you make your choice. What option will I go with? Will you go to option 1? Will you go to option 3, 2, or 3? So that is how you can properly choose, because you have made your final decision here. And then once everything is done, once you've done your choice, reflect on how things went. My choice was good. My friend was able to talk to me. Or maybe if something bad did happen, my friend was still a bit angry with whatever happened. I will take some time to step down to cool things off again. That is how you can properly make a choice that is based on the feelings of others and what may occur based on your choices. So yeah, that's basically all it about the castle framework. So thank you for staying until the end. If you have any questions, do leave them in the comments, because I am always watching. Or not, because apparently my mobile chat did not update, because I just noticed. Hi Sarah. Is it like persevering? Yeah. It's like you are trying to persevere. This is the question about resilience, right? That's the end of the lighthouse show. Oh, my Sarah has already given you guys the score link. You guys are gonna run off before I can. Here, let me show you the answers for that score in question. See, I'm such a nice individual. So yeah, it is basically kind of like persevering, trying to have that strength to carry on after so much adversity. Any other questions? Oh, my sorry, did say something else as well. Why I didn't know? Okay, it's being able to withstand stressors as far as what I know. Both of you, thank you for mentioning it there. All right, so I guess no one is asking questions. Thanks for the validation. I am always here to give you guys validation. I am like the positive reinforcement generator. I will gus you up if you want me to. You are the best for coming here tonight to listen to my talk. So yeah, I guess this is the end because I don't see any more questions. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, thank you for listening. So yeah, it's already 10 too. Oh, I guess I will also mention, like I said, this may be my final time acting as a speaker here for the lighthouse show. So yeah, this is the final time. But I will always be in the comment section for the other lighthouse shows in the future. I am always watching, like I said. I will always monitor. And for next week, I believe that there will be a special kind of lighthouse show. It won't be us as GU students, but will be further something interesting for the next 2 weeks, I believe. So yeah, one only need to be consistent in practice of improvement. Yeah. Thank you, Cornea. My Cornea. All right. So I guess this is it. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice fasting period. Sama berpuasa, basically. Yeah, next lighthouse show will be special. Okay, I'm gonna end the live now. Thank you so much for listening once again, and I hope everyone's assignments, and I believe you guys are gonna face your exams this month as well, so good luck for that. And yeah, that's basically all it. Selamat berpuasa, everyone. Yeah, thank you.